Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of a D1 athlete and a high school athlete pursuing a scholarship. With a wealth of experience to share, here's Recruit Me CEO Brent Hanks.
Well, I want to welcome to our podcast Parker Hanks. Parker Hanks is a familiar college athlete, I think. I've talked about him probably ad nauseum, and we'll probably hear more about him because he's kind of the inspiration for me getting into the Recruit Me program. So, Parker, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Hi to everyone that's listening. It'll probably be good for you guys to listen to me talk a little bit more than my dad, because I know that he likes to do that a little bit.
Let's get right into asking you some questions, Parker. Tell us briefly about your high school background.
So I went to Ozark High School in Ozark, Missouri. I played varsity baseball for 4 years. I was able to get a little bit of time my freshman year, and then by my sophomore year, I was starting in the outfield, and then just coming within myself pitching to set up for my junior and senior year, where I played a big role both those years on both sides, pitching and hitting. And then I also lettered varsity 3 years for basketball as well. Was an all-conference basketball player at Ozark.
You had some really good teams both in basketball and baseball. You got to do a very unique thing in basketball with the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. Can you tell us about that just a little bit?
So my senior year, my school was able to compete in the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions. It's one of the top high school basketball tournaments in the nation. I played against guys that are in the NBA now, went to big Power 5 colleges. These teams were like prep schools where they kind of recruited kids in, and a lot of them played college basketball and had some big-time names in the past. People like Jason Tatum, Alonzo Mourning. We see now one of the guys I played against, Keldon Johnson, he's currently in the NBA. So guys like that. So I was able to face some pretty good competition in basketball, basically my second sport, but I believe that helped me also in all my other sports.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You know, the competition there at Ozark in both basketball and baseball was very good. And did that prepare you for your college seasons?
Oh, definitely. I was able to have pretty good players surrounding me, both in baseball and basketball, that just helped me become a better player, and I learned from them and fed off them. So that was one way to help. Another one was the competition. Obviously, like I just said, in basketball, we were able to play some of the top competition in the nation. In baseball, we traveled around as well during our high school season and got to play teams like Owasso, who is, top 25 team in the nation and at the high school level. So I felt like I was prepared, faced some really good players growing up.
Well, we'll give a little shout out to Coach Schweitzer, your basketball coach, and Coach Essick, your baseball coach, because they really did set you up very well to go ahead and pursue your college destination. Okay, so Parker, tell us where you are now, what some of your details about where you are in college.
So I currently attend Northwestern University. I'm going into my junior year, but still I'm a sophomore eligibility-wise because of Corona. I'm pitching there. My freshman year, I kind of got thrown into the fire, was able to get a lot of innings, started in the bullpen, was able to start some midweeks and then eventually weekends my freshman year before having some elbow problems, which I dealt with going to my sophomore year. And so obviously the season cut short my sophomore year because of Corona, so now just preparing for my junior year.
Tell the people listening kind of what difference there is between your body now versus your body when you came out of high school.
I was always in high school pretty tall and lanky. I'm about 6'1", but I wasn't very filled out. I was about, probably going to high school, probably 140, coming out 160. But now I am, after 2 years of college, I'm sitting anywhere from 180 to 190 pounds. So I've definitely filled out, gotten stronger in my legs while maintaining my athleticism. And then that obviously translates into pitching. like I can, get bigger, gain more weight while staying athletic. That's something that's really helped me while keeping those like explosive muscles.
Tell us some of your favorite things about college sports so far.
I mean, the camaraderie is just probably the big thing. I've gotten to know people from different parts of the country. Out of the people in my recruiting class, no one's from one area. I've met guys from LA and Boston and Atlanta, Georgia, and then a Chicago kid. So it's just so different compared to Southwest Missouri, just like the people that you meet. This year, I'm living with a kid from Boston and another kid from LA. And so, like, just culturally, that's a lot different, which is, fun to see other perspectives. And then just from baseball side, for me being in the Power Five, it's fun just getting to play at all these like cool places, getting to go to Notre Dame, getting to go to Michigan, Duke, going down to Arizona my first 2 years. So that travel, getting to see good competition and good baseball, something you look forward to as a player.
So it has been fun. It's been fun as a dad to chase you guys around and get to know all the players and their families too. When did you realize you wanted to play college sports?
I feel like that's something that's always been a goal for me. Ever since a freshman in high school, I was able, from a young age to, you helped me be thrust into baseball and succeed in it, from a young age. So it's always been a passion for me, especially on the baseball side in comparison to basketball, where I've just had that passion for the game and always have, I feel like, strived to play at the next level and hopefully, the next level after this.
So I'm going to ask a little bit more specific question. When did you realize that you could play at the college level?
I would say things started going to my sophomore year of high school. I didn't even know really what my role would be, if I'd even make the varsity team. And I ended up the first game, I was hitting second, starting in the outfield, and I had a really good year. And I think that year kind of opened my eyes to see how good of a player I could be and really, got my like outlook looking to where I could go in college.
And that summer you got to play against some good competition in McAlester, Oklahoma. And I think pitching wise, that kind of put you over the top that you could realize that you could compete against some college type of level kids.
Yeah, it's funny how I'm pitching in college because that sophomore year, I feel like I was pretty raw as a pitcher. I just relied on my fastball changeup, didn't really have a breaking ball or even like know where it was going that much. But I was in that varsity squad as a hitter and playing the outfield, and I pitched when I can. We had some pretty good pitching in front of me, but by that end of the year, I just, kind of hit a stride pitching wise. And that carried into that summer game to play in the Sun Belt in Oklahoma, where I faced some really good hitters and kind of learned how to pitch more. I wasn't just able to rely on my stuff alone, but I had to kind of learn how to pitch, especially being a year younger. That's usually for people going to their senior year, junior going to senior year, but I was there my sophomore going to my junior year, so a year early. So these kids were bigger and physically bigger. And so I had to just kind of learn how to deal with that and learn how to pitch.
Yeah, and I think we got a lot of video at that tournament. I remember the Team Tennessee, I think all 25 players for them. And again, they were their junior summer and you were your sophomore summer, but all 25 of those kids were going to a major Division I baseball team. So you not only learned how to pitch, you learned that you were going to get hit just a little bit and how to deal with that too.
Yeah, I feel like I learned how to, trust my stuff more. I have that sinking fastball with the changeup to play off of it, and I just learned how to, I don't have to strike people out. I can facilitate soft contact and use that movement to keep people off balance and just hit the ball into the ground. So I feel like there I really learned that in comparison to, maybe if I didn't face as good as competition where I could just rely on just blowing fastballs past people. And I feel like that has had to be in my mindset at the college level as well, because everyone is very highly skilled at this level.
I was going to say that does remind me of your freshman year in college, and then you're facing juniors and seniors in college that are men. What was one of the best things you did in particular to enhance your recruiting?
I mean, it all comes down to your performance. Probably the biggest thing I did was went out and my junior year went 10-0 or 9-0 with a sub-1 ERA. It all, like, don't have good numbers, you're not going to get looked at by colleges. So it's like a point where you have to go out and, do the thing. You can't go out and you're a basketball player, shoot 1 for 10 every game, or if you're a pitcher, give up 4 home runs. College coaches aren't going to like that. So it all comes down to your preparation, I feel like, and confidence that you're going to go out and the work you put in is going to carry over.
So your skill and development were probably what you feel was one of the main things that got you looked at for colleges.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like constantly working on your craft. Like for me right now, pitching is what I do. It's my craft. It's basically my job. And it's just like constantly every day developing what you want to do. If you don't do that, you're not going to go to the next level, I believe.
Parker, tell me 2 or 3 things that were important to you when you were choosing a college. What were you looking for?
Well, one thing for Northwestern, obviously it's a top academic school, so that was big for me. As a student, I was a good student, got a good score in my ACT, so I was looking at top of the line schools academically, somewhere where I can get a good job after. And obviously Northwestern is just, a school that definitely fits that what I wanted right there. Another thing is I was able to play the best competition I can play here and facilities that I'm able to use and get better, and has all like the latest technology and information that that people are using on the baseball side. So I would say facilities for sure, competition, travel. I've got to go play at some pretty cool places, along with the academic side for me was pretty big.
And you left something out that I know that was important to you, and that was the swag.
Yeah, for sure. I've always been wanting cool stuff and definitely have gotten that at Northwestern. Another big thing that I just thought of is connection with the coaches. I feel like as soon as I've seen my coaching staff at Northwestern, I just kind of clicked. And so I feel like that relationship is a big thing. It's the relationship with the coaches.
Did your wants change when you were thinking about colleges, like your freshman and sophomore year, to when you made your decision? Like something that was important your freshman, sophomore year, maybe it didn't become as important your junior, senior year when you were making your decision?
Yeah, I feel like as I became a junior and senior, definitely it shifted more towards academics. So along with the baseball side. So like my freshman, sophomore, I was like, oh, I want to play, at the best baseball school. Well, going to junior, senior year, yeah, you want to play at a good baseball school, but you also want to set yourself up as well after college. And whether that's, I don't know yet, getting my or master's or, going into the workforce. As far as that goes, like Northwestern definitely is something or a school that's able to help me with that more than other schools. And so I feel like going to my junior and sophomore year, I started to finally figure out what I could do academically and target schools better that way.
That's great. What advice would you give to a high school student wanting to play college sports?
Work, every day. It's like the thing where if you're not going to put the work in, you're not going to make it. It's something where, college athletes, I've gotten up, 4 days a week for the past 2 years whenever I'm at school at 5 a.m. to go lift. Like, if you're not willing to do that, you're probably not going to play college sports, or you're not going to be 100% bought in. So you got to realize if you really love the game, buy into it. And that starts in high school. Like if you're not going to go in and get stronger or work on your change up or shoot, after practice, that's something that just like won't translate into the next level.
You always seem like you like the grind. You like to go to practice and you like the workouts. But is that something that you have to create a habit with?
I feel like I had a good kind of supporting cast in high school around me that also helped with that. Yes, I've kind of liked that. I've liked, I've gotten to, in high school, I didn't like working out. Like that's pretty common, but like now I've started to enjoy that. I played with a lot of guys that play at the next level, whether, I don't know if you've talked about many of them before, but Forrest Barnes plays at Missouri State. I had him as another Division I player on the pitching staff all throughout my life. And then Quinn Nelson, who plays basketball in college, both of them work their butts off. And so being alongside them, I feel like has helped me.
Parker, what advice would you give to a high school athlete that is committed and signed like their national letter of intent? So what advice would you give as they've made a decision and they know they're going to a school? What would you tell them that they needed to do?
Just because you sign your national letter of intent doesn't mean that you're going to get innings from a baseball period or baseball aspect, or from minutes in a basketball aspect, for example. I mean, you're going into a situation where you're new. So like my biggest advice is just like, you've got to, if you worked hard before you sign your national intent, you got to work even harder after you sign it, because it's only going to get that much more harder, but it's also going to get more enjoyable. Enjoy that you signed your national letter of intent and you're going to a good school, but don't take that, oh, I've signed already, that means I don't have to work as hard. Because if you do that, it's going to be a wake-up call.
Parker, we're kind of running out of time here. What other advice would you give to high school students or maybe an incoming freshman that maybe we didn't cover?
4 years in college, just enjoy it. I mean, people say that college is the best 4 years of life. It's definitely up there. It's definitely different. Really get to know the people in your recruiting class, be friends with them because they're going to be your lifelong friends. So be excited to go. And then when you just get up there, just make the most of it.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me and taking time out of your busy schedule. You'll be headed up to move back into college here the 1st of September and moving back out of my house again for a little while. But it's been great to talk to you about the recruiting, and it's been great for you to pass along your information to the student athletes and family that listen to the podcast. And hopefully we'll have you back on again.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Parker.
Be sure to email me at brent@recruitme.com if you have any questions or comments. The next episode will be an interview with Paige Tons, an athlete mindset mentor. See you next week.